Great falls straight backwards on the count all together. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Begin. Rolling to the ball, balance for a moment, come back down. You do not need to be coordinated with the other people in your class or in your home. We simply want to practice this skill of hovering on the top of our shoulders and then coming back down. 10 more seconds. And down. Begin. Triangling left and right. Locking our knee over our ankle. Try your best if you can to lock your knee joint over your ankle joint, opposed to having your knee locked over the top of your foot. If we can lock over the ankle joint, you'll find it's way more secure, much harder to break apart. When you lock over the foot, you run the risk that the reason you let go is that your foot starts getting hyperextended and there's too much pressure on the ankle. When you lock joint to joint, this doesn't happen. 3, 2, 1. And so everyone lay flat on your back. Bring your feet in close to your backside. Feet flat on the floor. All right. Elbows inside, hands close to the center of your chest. And on each motion, you're going to bring your hips up and off of the ground, pushing out of your feet. And you're going to reach over your head, alternating left and right. Everyone begin. You do not have to go at the same speed as the person across from you or other people in the group. The goal is to reach and open up your core and open up your back. You can do it either slowly to feel like it's a stretch, or you can do it ballistically if you'd like to warm up or really get yourself going into the motion. Bridging is both a useful jiu-jitsu technique and also a great way to warm up. Keep going, keep going. You want to end up on your shoulder and both of your feet only, your entire back, your entire legs, your entire backside off of the mat. And 3, 2, 1, and down. Go back onto your back. And now head and shoulders off the ground, feet off the ground, and start making circles with our feet. So we're trying to make our knees as wide as possible. We're trying to have our feet pass in front of each other, elbows in, hands available, head and shoulders off of the ground. And now everyone change directions. If you're going to the inside, you're now going to the outside. If you're going to the outside, you're now going to the inside. If you're starting to feel this as a workout for your core, good. We all need that. 3, 2, 1, and down. We're now going to warm up our hands and wrists and forearms. And the way we're going to do it is by going through a variety of grips that we use in jiu-jitsu. We're going to start off slow, and then we'll go a little faster. Everybody put your hands into this S grip or 10-fingered grip position that you see Christian in right now. Good. Next thing we'll switch to is our palm to palm, or called a gable grip. If you notice, none of Christian's thumbs are extended out around the opposite hand, meaning it's as though your thumb is attached to the other 4 fingers, which means that one of your thumbs should be inside the other palm. This is a little complicated for people at the very beginning. It doesn't feel as natural, but is a way stronger grip. From here, Christian is going to switch over to what we call a watch grip. Imagine you're wearing a watch, and he's covering the watch with, again, all 5 fingers. Notice how the thumb is not wrapped around his wrist. On the other side, it's not opposing his fingers. It is instead on the same side as his 4 fingers. A very similar grip to the watch grip is sliding his hand down to the edge of the fist. The fingers curl into the inside of the other fist. But again, the thumb is not wrapped around the wrist. It is right here. From here, we're going to slide our hands into what's called a tombstone or a double elbow grip. We're gripping each arm with the other hand. And our final grip right here, one of the hands will come up towards the head into what we call our figure 4 or our rear naked choke grip. You'll notice that one of the hands is on the inside of the elbow or bicep of the other hand, and the second hand is behind the back of our own head. So now we're going to reverse back through them. His hand's going to come back to the elbows. From the elbows, we're going to go back to the fist grip. From the fist grip, we're going to go back to the watch grip. From the watch grip, we're going to go back to our palm to palm or gable grip, and then finally back to the S grip. Christian's now going to flip his hands to the other side. One may feel like comfortable and the other one might not feel as much, but we'd like to have both. So now we have the S grip on the other side. We're going to go a little faster. We're going to go palm to palm. We're going to go with the other watch. So imagine your watch is on your other hand. We're going to the other same fist. We're going to go to the elbow to elbow or tombstone grip, but we should be switched a little bit. And now we'll go to the other figure 4
with the other arm. And now you're going to continue on your own, doing as many as you remember, back to the elbows, and then on your own, back to the fist, back to the watch, back to the palms, back to the fingertips, flip the fingers, and continue. We're all going to keep on going for about another 30 seconds. On each grip, you should give a little pull, a little bit of resistance, so that your hands, your fingers, your wrists, your forearms, your elbows all start warming up and getting a little bit limber.
The Kimura is 4 for 4, back and forth with each other's partners here. You and your partner should look similar to this, back and forth. They may be going at different speeds, they may be going at different strengths, but you can do it however you would like it. And begin. Reaching over, gripping, connecting. One thing you may notice as you watch some of the more experienced practitioners go is that they'll sometimes grab the wrist first and then wrap the arm. You'll also then sometimes see people wrap the arm and then grab the wrist second. This is a strategic question. Neither one is better than the other. When you actually try this technique on somebody in a real situation, they very well might notice when you grab their wrist that you're going to go for the elbow next and they hide the elbow. So sometimes strategically it makes sense to get the elbow first and then grab the wrist second. It can be done either way. Traditionally this technique is taught by gripping the wrist first, but that won't always be the way that you go for it. Everyone continue. For another 15 seconds, a few more. You should get one more set in each. And then we will move on to our next drill. Excellent. And time. Very good. The goal is to escape it. So Maya is going to lay back on her back. One of you should do the same. And the other person is going to climb on top. Your knees are going to be on the mat. You're going to be sitting right across their waistline or their belt. And if you notice here that Lou's hands are on the mat as well, her knees are a bit wide. Again, this is a drill. So Lou is not trying to beat Maya at this. She's not trying to hold her there. She's just trying to create this nice structure for Maya to work around to practice what we call here our knee-elbow escape. It's called our knee-elbow escape because we're going to use our elbow against our partner's knee. And the first step to doing this is that Maya is going to turn onto her side facing one of the legs. She's going to bring her left elbow on the inside of the knee and her other arm across the waistline, creating what we call a frame with her two arms. If we turn our attention now to their legs, Maya's goal is to capture Lou's leg ultimately between both of hers. She's going to start by attacking a small part of Lou's body, which is going to be her ankle. She's going to do it by straightening her left leg, bringing her right foot over the top, hooking the ankle and capturing it between both of her legs. So if we look right now, Maya has Lou's ankle and ankle only stuck between her legs. We're halfway there. Next thing we're going to do is try and capture the knee. Maya's going to use her left elbow to push the knee further and further in. And as she does that, she brings her legs higher and captures them around Lou's upper leg. You'll notice at the very end, Maya crossed her ankles to finish what we would call the half guard. A guard is any time you have your legs between you and your partner, and so you can use all of your limbs. This is called a half guard because we've got one of the legs captured. It's a good position all by itself. It's also a good position to start using to go to a butterfly half guard, to go to a full guard, to go to all types of other positions from here. It's also a strong position all by itself. So now, to continue the drill, Maya's going to let go of the half guard, pull the legs out. Lou is going to start falling herself back to the other side. And now Maya is going to take the mount on top of her in the same way. And we're going to see the same technique. In this last one, we're going to continue a little bit the same speed as we did the last one. Lou's going to put her elbow inside of the knee line. She's going to turn onto her side, slow down for me. She's going to reach over with the top leg, hooking the ankle. Let's pause here. Notice again, Lou now has Maya's ankle trapped between her legs. And the last step will be to push Maya's knee between as well. And once again, Lou has now achieved the half guard, which is a much better position. We've escaped the mount position. standing. Adri's going to start attacking the guard. He's going to take his right foot and step it to the center. You can do this with your left foot, but most people like to use their right foot for this. He's going to get a bit lower. His hands are now going to come into play. His right hand is going to grip behind Christian's head to keep him where he is. The left hand is going to go to the knee. And now everyone watch the right knee as it slides through. This is why it's called the knee slice pass to the mat. Once his knee hits the mat, it's now going to become a pivot point. Turn your attention to the left leg. It is going to take a big step forward, cutting the corner as Adri continues forward. Noticing Christian's legs are out of the equation. The final thing that Adri does to seal up the position is connect his hands on the other side of Christian's head and arm. This is taking us into side control, which is another one of our dominant positions where Adri can begin attacking.
We establish the back position with our 3 points of control, and now we'll look for a rear naked choke or rear naked strangle. So there's a lot of complicated ways to get to this, to work on this. We're gonna start very simple for the newest students, maybe the parents, maybe the children. Many of the kids already know how to do this technique. If they wanna give you some more details, that's great. Let's start very simply. The hand that's over the top is the one that's going to be choking. So I'm gonna unlock my hands, and this hand is gonna go underneath the chin. I wanna go so far through that my elbow is directly underneath my partner's chin. If we're here and I squeeze, she might tap, she might not like it, but if she were to turn her chin in either direction, it suddenly doesn't work as well. If I get all the way under the chin, she has a lot of trouble turning it, and even if she does, it won't matter. So I'm all the way under with my elbow underneath her chin, and now my second hand's gonna come into play. I'm gonna pull it out, and now we're gonna go to that figure 4 position that we also practiced at the beginning of class by putting my hand on top of my bicep. Now the basic way of doing this is gonna be just gripping my bicep and my other hand goes behind her head. Advanced students, if you wanna try the hand transition, we can do that. That involves putting my hand on top of my other hand and not bringing my arm out here where it can be grabbed, but simply sliding it behind her head. We wanna end up making this triangle position with our arm around her neck, and we're now gonna make the triangle smaller. At this point, the person who's in the submission needs to have a hand ready to tap. You don't want to wait too long and it squeeze your neck too hard. I'm going to finish this not by pulling, notice nothing happens when I pull back, but by squeezing. Think like an anaconda snake squeezing around Maya's neck. The moment she taps, I simply open my hands and let go, and she's fine. One of the beautiful things about tapping is that the position, the submission might feel incredibly uncomfortable, but there's always a nice bit of time between when it feels uncomfortable and when we might get injured. And if the person taps and the other person lets go, within that period, everyone's fine, everyone's safe, no one is worse for the wear.